So this is a mess. Hi everyone. So for this video, I decided to do something easier. The editing for the last video kicked my ass. You know, I just need something simple and easy to edit this time around. I'm actually reorganizing my living room for one main reason, because of my new dress form. I need to find space for her. Another reason why I kind of want to move things around is I got this ottoman here to put my fabric in. My cat's already breaking in the new ottoman. So I'm gonna put my fabric in this. I ironed some of my fabric yesterday. I'm just hoping that this ottoman is enough space. It's a two-seater ottoman. You just gotta make sure you dig your claws into it, don't you, buddy, before I even use it. You gotta be the first one to use it. So this is what my living room looks like. Just to be clear, this is just something I whipped up really quickly in Adobe Illustrator. Nothing is to scale or has the proper measurements on it. This is just kind of where everything is in my living room. And what I need to make room for is this dress form right here. This is what I was aiming for the final setup for my living room. To have my makeup vanity / craft table right here, and my dress form right next to it, where it's not taking space up, where it's somewhere over here. And this bookshelf I was originally going to move to over here, but I thought maybe it would be better to have the smaller bookshelf over here. And here is where I originally intended to put my ottoman for fabric, because it was much longer than the original ottoman I had over here. But this ended up not working out as much as my cat liked the ottoman being over here, because I ended up buying something for my room so we can have more space to hang our clothes in the room, because we have a really tiny closet that requires me to take out the bookshelf and find space for it in the living room, which ended up working out in the end. This is the final layout I ended up going with. So here I have two black bookshelves next to my desk and gaming chair, and I will move the cat tree over here. I will move back the rainbow ottoman to where it was originally, which is funny because I moved it all the way over here and then moved it here because I was still trying to figure things out, and then just finally moved it back to where it was before, and it was perfect. And then I'm going to move my fabric ottoman over to the other side of the couch. So like I said, I have everything I need for sewing in one area. And if you're wondering why the rug and couch changed colors for these squares, that is because everything is coordinated for my brain to the color that the piece of furniture is, but also you will see why these two things changed color. Also, if you notice my energy is a little off or up and down throughout this video, it's because for some reason, I decided to do this the weekend after Christmas, which also meant there was a holiday in the middle. So I did this over the weekend after Christmas during New Year's Eve and New Year's. This project also took longer than I was expecting it to, that moving around and redecorating my entire living room was only going to take one day. But in actuality, it took a week and 1 day. So I'm sorry if my energy is a little off in this video. I'm kind of tired and frustrated because it's taking longer than I thought it would. But in the end, I did really like how everything turned out. So I hope you enjoy this video despite my up and down energy. This bookshelf is going to be the hardest thing. Oh, look at the bubby. Hi, bubby. And this is my desk. My desk is currently a mess right now. I'm trying to organize everything and get stuff I want to donate donated. So my desk's kind of a mess because I've been pulling things out of my desk and reorganizing things. But yeah, these are the two biggest things I have to move around. And that desk is going to get moved to where the bookshelf is, except there's going to be a cat tree in between. So someone can sit in between his parents. That will make him happy because he loves just sitting by us when we're at our desks. So now he has somewhere to sit. But first I have to kick the poor cat off the ottoman and start filling it with fabric. I need you to move. So basically the organization for this is going to be plain fabrics on the bottom, pretty fabrics that will get made into something in the middle, and then current projects on top. And then I also have to figure out how to put in my extra stuff for my trim and my patterns. I do have a bin I can put that in, but that is kind of big for this ottoman, so we'll see how that works out after I get all the fabric in. This sheer fabric is already technically something, but this might hurt some people, but I'm probably gonna cut this up and turn it into the outer layer of a petticoat because I don't have enough sheer fabric for that. Probably doesn't matter. Oh, and in goes the cat. This is cool astrology fabric that's going to get reused. I need to seam rip it so I can take off these green ends. I'm not sure what it's going to get reused for, but I know I'm keeping it. The hardest thing about being a crafter is you're like, oh, I want to keep this fabric because it's really cool, and like, but it's just taking up space and you don't know what you're going to do with it yet. But that's not the fabric where I'm questioning if I should keep it. Okay, so this is the fabric I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep. It's fleece, and so there's so much cat hair on it. I was going to use this to make into a circle skirt, but I measured it the other day and it's not enough. So I'm not sure if I should keep this, and if anyone knows anything about fleece, it's big and takes up a lot of space. Because I really don't plan on making another sweatshirt anytime soon. In fact, I already threw out that pattern. So I'm not sure if I'm going to keep this yet. So it looks like I'm moving on to the bigger pieces of cool pattern fabric. So you'll be seeing a lot of cool pattern fabric like this as I put it in the bin. And Harley Quinn is actually a hint for what these two rayon / spandex polyester blend might be for. I also don't think I ever say rayon right. This is the kind of fabric I mean. This fabric's from the last video, so be sure to check out what I made out of that. And this is going to be in a future video of a dress I will make. And this will be in a future video that will probably be what I put on top of the petticoat. All right, put this also is a future project. This is also another thing that takes up a lot of space, but I need it for this future project. It's that, what is it called? It's that fusible fabric that you iron on one side to make things more strong or whatever. So I need that for a future project. As much as I want to get rid of it, I actually need it for something. Okay, looks like the rest of the fabric is a lot of little tiny scrap fabric. So this is the bin that I'm worried about because it takes up quite a lot of room. It's a pretty big bin that could possibly fit my patterns and my scrap fabric in it as well, but I'm worried about not having enough room for that. And I'm also trying to determine what is patch fabric and what is like can fit just outside of the bin. I keep saying like future project someday. That's such a crafter thing to say. Plan on working on this someday. And sometimes you wonder if that someday will ever come around. Okay, looks like I might not have space for my trims in here, but I might have space for my different patterns. More patterns. More patterns. More patterns. More patterns. Is this possibly gonna be video soon? We shall see. Stop. Don't eat paper. Don't eat paper. We don't need to eat paper. Oh yes, I forgot. I bought this. These are little Halloween buttons. Ah, the fleece. I still haven't made a decision about this. Does this make me happy? Do I want to use it for future projects? Really want to make that circle skirt, but like I said, I don't think this is enough fabric. This is actually, I don't know why this is such a hard decision for me. think I'm gonna donate it. Oh my god, okay. Okay, I think I'm gonna donate it. Whew, I need a vacuum. Found some more stuff. And another vintage pattern. It's like when you become a crafter, you just start like putting things over your entire house, but then you just get annoyed because you wish everything was just in one spot, but then you just keep putting things in different spots. And it's so funny because every crafter has this where they keep their buttons in a Christmas cookie pan. And it's funny, when I took this out, my partner was like, oh my god, Christmas cookies. I'm like, no babe, they're just buttons. Every crafter has a tin like this. And I text my best friend about it, and she was like, it's funny how it's opposite for us. When we see actual cookies in it, we're like, oh my god, there's cookies in the sewing containers. I think that's done for now. I really just want to get to cleaning off this bookshelf because this bookshelf's gonna take forever. Here's the thing about being a book nerd. It's really hard to get rid of books, and especially books you haven't read. Now it's time to clear off all these little pop figures I have, and all these plushies I have, and all this cat fur just everywhere coming up. I am fire! I am death! So I have a lot of shit on my desk that doesn't belong on my desk. As you can see, it's a little harder to move my desk because it's so big, and because I have two screens. And because this screen is attached to an arm, this screen stays on the desk. Jesus. I'm at the point where there's just a bunch of little stuff that will still take forever to get up, and I don't know where to start. All right, so I think the best thing to do is just separate it in some way so I can get some sense of order to this chaos that is going on in my living room apartment right now. This had safety pins in it, and look where they spilled. On my couch. That's great. So this is an old spice rack I found at Goodwill. I needed something to put my thread in because my cat keeps on trying to eat it. What I originally wanted was like a cool vintage thread holder, but I couldn't find anything that was affordable like that without the shipping being an arm and a leg. I could have gone to an antique store, but antiques are also expensive. So I did the next best thing and went to Goodwill, found this antique spice rack, which is actually better thread holder because now with these little doors, I can prevent my cat from getting in. These little drawers down here will be perfect for my bobbins. This is all the thread I own. Like the chaos of this apartment right now, my brain is so scattered in many different places. I was having the issue of when I like got all the stuff out and like got everything together, like I thought I got all of my crafting stuff together, and it kept building and building and building and building. And like, I'm sure this happens to all us crafters. We think we have so little amount of stuff. It turns out we have a lot of stuff that we've been keeping in little corners tucked into our house. So I guess it's a good thing I'm putting everything in one place. My poor cat and all of this is just like, Mommy, when is all this noise gonna stop? This is something upcoming for an upcoming video for my Harley Quinn video, so I don't want to show what it is yet. This is left over from when I built Flick's net. This has material from more scrap material in it, and then material from my office dress. I found like even more trim. I'm like, where is all this trim and ribbon coming from? I know where it's coming from. My mom gave me a bunch of ribbon and trim, but it's like, dang. It's not only the amount she gave me, like I had so much more trim on top of it. I had this, have like this leftover trim. Like, what do you guys do with leftover trim when you have like such a little amount left, but such a significant amount that like you don't want to throw it out because this is enough to be made into something? Just like, how did I accumulate all this trim? I don't even know how I did that. This is another thing that was just like, I didn't know I had a lot of, which is sewing pins. I thought I had to buy more sewing pins. No, turns out I just had them hidden in different drawers in my apartment so my cat wouldn't get to them. I'm glad to have sewing pins though. All right, in this 7-Eleven bag, I have a pattern. Oh, look, more fabric, yay. Another vintage pattern, more thread that needs to get put with the other thread, but this basically has a pattern in it that I need to iron. So that's probably going to be the last thing I do, is iron that pattern. This, I don't even want this part, I just want this this trim right here. So I'm gonna have to seam rip this and get this trim off, but I'm only keeping this for this pretty trim. So much, like so much scrap fabric. It's like you have this really cool fabric and you don't want to get rid of it because it's cool, but then there's just like little tiny pieces. That's trash. There's just like little tiny pieces everywhere, and you're like, what do I do with this? Should I save it? Which I am gonna save it because I do plan on making a patch quilt someday, because I've never made a quilt before and I want to try it at least once. So now all that I have left to do is I still have to organize my coffee table, and then I also got to vacuum this rug. Even though I just bought a replacement for this rug, I still need to keep it clean until, you know, I need to keep this rug presentable until the new one gets here. And this is everything I'm going to be donating. A lot more than I expected myself to donate, because I usually like holding on to things. So I originally was going to take this to Goodwill, and then my partner reminded me that Goodwill kind of sucks and doesn't treat their employees well. So instead, I'm going to be donating this stuff to this thrift store. Goes towards the city's local animal shelter, and that's what I care about, helping animals. So that's where this stuff is going to go. Okay, I just got 2 packages delivered from Amazon, obviously, and these are going to be the final 2 touches to finishing my living room / sewing room / where I do my makeup. Okay. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed this tour of my new living room slash office slash makeup slash crafting room. It's probably mostly gonna get used for crafts and work, but I hope you enjoyed it. I know I have a weird and different aesthetic, but I like really weird out there things, and it just kind of culminates into what you just saw. I will catch you guys next time.